Just Wi-Fi's just been laggy this morning, so it may still chop, and kind of like cut out every now and then. If it's a problem, if the stream goes down, then I'll try and restart it, but just kind of expect something to happen. So I do have the sell side over here marked out, or I did have it on ES. Let me mark it out over here. We have L2 equal lows with the 8:30 news and kind of these lows over here from London session. Obviously, still looking at London low, but for 950 macro, this is what I'm favoring. I sent out the daily bias post, but DXY is failing to reach into their daily sibi. NQ on the 15 minute. Obviously, with that large dump from yesterday's PM session, traded back up into the range, and we're holding this premium imbalance up here. So if you take your fib from high to low, we are within premium up here, right? That's why we didn't just fill this when it came all the way up into premium, tap into here. So I'm watching for a change in state of delivery, possible reversal as we target the lows. We still have London and Asian low that's left untapped. And right now we're kind of just chopping around here. We're bouncing between two PD arrays. We got the imbalance down here, and then the imbalance I already have marked out. So for 950 macro, I would assume we don't have enough data to enter here unless we get clear displacement out of the range. So I'm favoring. RTH gap, yeah. Do have a nice RTH gap lower too. So got 147 points. We'll mark out consequent encroachment of this really quickly. Right there. Oh, there it goes again. Alright, not too bad. So with 8:30 news drivers, typically you don't see a 9:30 Judas, especially if we have to continue towards a liquidity target in a higher time frame. When there's high impact news drivers at 8:30, you see this as your true day open. Okay, so you expect everything kind of that you want to see at 9:30 happen at 8:30, and then sometimes at 9:30 you see maybe a wick retracement like this, an expansion up. We didn't get a full expansion. I'm curious to see if SMT there. I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't have SMT there at the highs. Yes, with YM we do. So be mindful of that. Here's the macro. We don't have clear displacement yet, so still just be waiting. Lagging a whole lot. I will record this though, so if you want to go back and watch it, you can. And I'll try and send my predictions out to predictions chat in case the stream starts getting laggy. But I'm favoring shorts for the short term. Watch this BPR up here as well. We're holding it. I'm also watching the order blocks. If you can respect all these up closing candles, which for the most part we have been doing, we've been closing below, closing consecutively lower than the highest order block. So it's a high resistance liquidity run for sure. But look at the candle body staying above consequent encroachment of this 1 minute gap too. And if you look at the 15 over here, pretty bullish closure, right? Staying above, for sure, consequent encroachment of this gap, but even further up. So I would say wait for, let me type it up in chat. We're just chopping between 9:45 and 10, so got basically chopped from 9:30 too. But normally if you see chop between 9:45 and 10, we have this kind of tight consolidation range. Then 10 o'clock, even if we don't have a news driver, which I don't think today we do have a news driver, you'll see a sweep of one of the consolidation zones high and low, and then a purge and revert. So we'll do something like this. We'll chop around, take out the high, and maybe tap into this higher imbalance, and then you see a CISD and then clean respective bearish order blocks, bearish PD raise as we head lower into the sell side. Or if we come down, so if these lows out, dig into this fair value gap right here, then start trading back upwards, you'd be targeting the high here as well as consequent encroachment of this gap. I also do, if we make it to opening range today, Lord willing that I don't have any Wi-Fi issues, we're going to look at some of their opening range stuff between 9:30 and 10:30. Do standard deviations there. Another kind of work that I saw from the pragmatic was the same guy who introduced us to the time fib. So he's got some solid stuff on there. If you haven't already, I would say go follow him on Twitter because he's got some solid stuff regarding opening range, regarding just time, time concepts rather than a lot of just price stuff that a lot of other either YouTubers or just content creators will focus on. So yeah, we're still just kind of chopping around here. I'm going to be waiting for around 10 a.m. to see if we want to reverse or retrace. But right now there's really no clear entry. I'm watching this last up closing candle here, as well as this BPR in this range. Let me mark this as blue. But if you switch to a higher time frame, like a 2-minute or 3-minute, it's clear, tight consolidation, even on the 5-minute. It's very rough. So normally when you have consolidation ranges like this, you want to stay in the time frame, the highest time frame that you can see the clear consolidation on. So I would say this 3-minute is fine. Anything sub 3-minute becomes a little bit harder to see because you'll get faked out with, incorrect displacement, things like that. We actually were aligned this morning. If I reset these charts, pretty aligned. Only thing that wasn't aligned was the SMT up here with YM. But conceptually, we're basically all around the same points compared to yesterday's PM sell-off around consequent encroachment. So whenever you have a dealing range like this, a large dealing range between high and low, and you either open at equilibrium or we start trading up and we're kind of hovering around equilibrium, you can expect a lot of consolidation around equilibrium there. You won't see a lot of quick price movements out of there. This applies to any market maker model, but you can see we're basically right at equilibrium there, right around here. So that's where you see Judas swings happen, especially in market maker models. By the way, we did close below this down closing candle. It is a small order block, but we did close all the way through. Watch this tiny gap here. If we can fill up into that gap and respect it, we got a bearish order block there. Sibi, relative equal low is the sell side target. Obviously more downside could be expected, so I am currently watching that Sibi for potential shorting opportunity. Holding the bearish order block so far. So left unfilled again. Let me screenshot this. Share to predictions chat. Some of those is the cleanest entry I've seen, or potential entry I've seen basically all week, I would say. Oh, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, with market maker models, if we're at equilibrium, so if we have a market maker model like this, right, and we have high to low here, we take out the sell side. Now, normally you would see a retracement every single discount array we hit, so retracement back into premium. Or what you'll see is, this chop around here, and if there's a higher gap up here that was been left unfilled, you're going to wait for a Judas out of the consolidation at 50%, trade back lower, and then we reach into further sell side. Okay, we didn't get the sibi fill like I wanted to see. I wanted to short off that gap. We already got 20 points off of it. We just barely missed it there by what? A point. Or it would have been filled out. It is annoying though. And trading back lower. I mean, I guess you could have used that old selling order block, inversion order block as entry, but with a gap that close, I'd prefer using the gap, but now it's left open as a breakaway. So we'll just wait for 10 a.m., right? Because if that first entry you miss, either with a retracement or reversal, most times if it's a true B classification, if you're familiar with the PDF, so an entry at 950 where we get a low risk entry and then a continuation lower, you'll get a retracement at around 10 o'clock. So we are at 10. Remember, I told you before we could see a Judas out lower into the gap, so I'm being mindful of that, but we're right at 10 o'clock here, so if we can fill back up into this tiny sibi here. Back up to the sibi at around 10 o'clock. Could look at taking that as a shorting opportunity. I'm expecting to take out sell side, yeah. That's what I'm preferring. I don't know if my thing is lagging or not, so I'll just type that out. I'm like looking at targeting sell side. There you go. So there's your fill of the gap. So if you wanted to use this as a retracement opportunity for 10 a.m., could be targeting the 20 down here. It's your quick little target. Let me screenshot this, send it to predictions chat. If it wants to send. Yeah, so 20 is down here. You could be looking for even the further sell side or London low if you're really bearish. Oh my goodness. All right, hopefully it works now. I don't know. You good? So I'm watching this gap here as a potential retracement opportunity for 10 a.m. We did just dig up there, but we do need to hold the inversion, the sibi. 20 points would be down here. Try to mark it out earlier. There we go. So that's your 20 points. It also lines up pretty well with this bisi. If that wants to mark out, if I can send the screenshot properly. I'm also watching CISD down here. If it closes through the CISD, then we're chilling. Yep, we're good right now. So look for, I mean, you could actually look for sell side all the way to 9:30 open. I'm going to take mine off at 20 in case we do get a bounce off this gap. I just want to be out quickly. I hope my screenshot's sent to predictions chat. Alright, so we're not holding the CISD at all, so you can expect speed as we just efficiently filled this gap right here. Okay, so look for speed and look for sell side at, what is this? 16,859. Let me type it up really quickly. Oh, the screenshot did send. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at the 21st. This will record on OBS over the Discord. So if the Discord's lagging, I apologize. But it's not unreasonable to expect that fair value gap becomes inverted on daily. Fair value gap itself doesn't matter. It's in the context of bigger picture on a higher time frame. Already swept buy side and all-time highs a couple. Yeah, I agree. We're in a weekly sell program. I just wanted to see that there's your 20 points. I wanted to see that the XY imbalance filled, and we're displacing down into the sell side. So watch for the sell side down at, what is this? I said it earlier, 16,859. So we're filled all the way to the discount end right there. D starts popping up, I'm assuming. I'm holding the second one to take profit all the way to the sell side. If we start getting a bounce off the rejection at 8:30, then I won't be in it. But I'm assuming since we have RTH gap lower, we have sell side lower, we have London low lower, we have all these different things, right? We have SMT with YM up here. All should push price, at least for the short term, down into sell side. So if we can get down there, I'd be very, very happy with it. There you go. There's a speed lower. I know we're seeing this on the trade recording, but I don't know if I can see it on Discord. As it reaches down into the sell side. So don't expect a lot of resistance off this gap or off this wick because there's not really any imbalances that are clear to me. It is very frustrating though because my Ninja Trader is not running properly. I'm trying to load in quickly to close out the position, and it's not doing what I want it to do. So we're getting a tiny bounce off the wick. Oh, nice, fantastic. Got a tiny, okay, there's the sell side run. And there's the sell side bagged and tagged. See, this is kind of annoying. As soon as I cut out, it reaches all the way down to the sell side and goes for London low. Well, we got the sell side there. I don't know if it lagged or not. I thankfully was able to target. I was able to get the recording up. So if this is lag, yeah, I apologize. I'm gonna take a screenshot really quickly of the demo trade, or not the demo trade, but yeah, the demo trade I took. Oops. And then we reach into London low here. I don't know if it's how laggy it is. Trying to get London low here. Let me type it up. Oh, I apologize. This normally doesn't happen. Oh, it didn't actually reach into sell side. Okay. Hello? We good now? Maybe? This is so annoying. I'm so sorry. Alright, I think it might be working now. Tracing back all the way up into the gap now. Tracement to 6880. Alright, I'm gonna try and explain it the best I can. I can't even take a screenshot of the trade because NinjaTrader is lagging. I guess I can do this, maybe. Let me send this really quick. Oh, okay, it worked. I just need to crop this. Alright, I don't know how to crop it, that's the only problem. Let me actually send it to myself. So I took that short, and then I wrote it 20 points with the first contract, and then I added another one, and then took another 20, or took actually the sell side off at the relative equal lows. Now I'm going to try and explain it the best I can, because there's not really a lot of, I can't share the screenshot right now. It's just not working. So I told you before, we're expecting either a Judas swing or displacement into the sell side. I was favoring the sell side this morning. Okay. We had a nice dip lower right here with the breakaway gap, and I told you I was looking at this order block that we closed all the way through, even though it was a tiny order block we closed all the way through, right? I put my limit order here originally. We failed to fill into the breakaway, closed below. And then I also told you that even if we missed this limit order, right, even if you didn't want to mark it in off the inversion order block, that's fine. Because normally what you do see is a retracement or reversal at 10 a.m. Now, this gap here, we're going to go gap by gap. So this gap here, wicked into, right, multiple times. We close all the way bearishly. So we have clear sell side into this gap and into this gap right here, right? Clear sell side you can see. Now, for it to be efficient, what do you need? You need both buy side and sell side, right? So we're expecting a couple different things, right? We're expecting retracement at 10 a.m. We need to efficiently fill these sibis, and we have sell side target plus RTH gap lower. Okay, I hope I'm not lagging. I hope this is all making sense. So, got the retracement at 10 a.m. back into this red sibi that I've outlined. Okay, that's where I entered short. Now this green candle you may think is, it looks scary because we just traded all the way back lower and then we shot back up at 10:01. This is expected. You can expect something like this because we have clear sell side all the way through. You need a clear buying. So we got the clear buying all the way up, right? Now when I saw this candle, my eye immediately kind of draws to this last down closing candle to see if we want a CISD, right? Because we're getting the reverse or retrace at 10 a.m. and I was favoring the retracement. So let me remove some of this stuff. This last down closing candle could serve as your CISD. But after this candle right here closed all the way through it, all the way through this order block right here, that's where I added my second contract. So basically failing to CISD means that this was a true retracement. I hope that kind of makes sense. And we were going to target sell side. And then rode it, we traded a little bit more up into this gap. Now if I switch to a higher time frame, like a 2-minute, you can see it's basically clear buying and selling all the 2, 3-minute, clear wicking back and forth, 4-minute, multiple wicks back and forth, right? So it's efficiently delivered on all the time frames. Trade up into there, so that's why I entered my second contract after we filled the CISD. Then we traded back lower. I took the first partial off at 20 points. 20 points in this gap, which basically lined pretty quickly. And then I also just rode it all the way down to the relative equal lows, the sell side down here. We failed to get into London low by like 2 points. But I mean, it wasn't the worst case scenario. We did tap into RTH gap discount as well, right? This consequent encroachment line is discount of the RTH gap. If I go back to a 5-minute chart and then switch to RTH, if you take your open, so if you split this in half here and take the close of yesterday and then the open of today, it lines up right at consequent encroachment. So that's why you do want to, if you have a larger RTH gap, you do want to mark it out, the consequent encroachment, because most times it will fill. If it does want to fill it, it'll fill to consequent encroachment, even if it doesn't come all the way down, or at least you can see respect like we're seeing right now. Do watch this bearish order block though on the 1-minute though. But I mean, I'm basically out of it entirely, so it doesn't really matter what it wants to do now. We're outside of time anyways. It would be nice though. Let me remove some of this stuff really quickly. If we want to if we do want to retrace back up into the bisi, Okay, so my apologies. We'll get back into it. So if we can retrace up here into short-term premium of the current dealing range, so if you wanted to take AM high to AM low, we're about to reach into it. And then if we can sweep the internal range buy side, potentially tap into the breakaway, we could see a fractal market maker sell model. We do have original consolidation down here, low risk entry. We can actually see this as low risk entry. First stage, second stage, wherever it may be. You would like to see the reversal or retracement happen around 10:20. So each of those 20-minute intervals typically create those retracement or reversal opportunities. That's why you use the 940 for your 940 reversal for 950 low risk. 10 a.m. you see the retracement reversal, 10:20 you see your retracement reversal, 10:40, all those different 20-minute time frames. You can kind of frame something around it. Now, normally, when you see something like this, where it gets super close to a session range, low or high, you do want to see this attacked same day. A lot of times, especially in the morning session, if we can run really closely to the London high or low, like we have here, then we most times will return back into it. Okay, let me make sure I type that up into your predictions chat. Man, it's lagging. The stream is lagging once more. Okay, hopefully is it good now? Oh, the stream stopped. Fantastic. I appreciate you guys sticking through this. This is just as annoying for me. What I was saying. Okay, yeah, I don't know what got cut off and what didn't, but normally when you see this London low super close, and we create relative equal lows, right? Like if you were just looking at this, we saw these relative equal lows here. Most times, we're going to run that out the same day. So there's your internal range buy side. Now watch for potential reversal retracement. I do want to see, we may fill the breakaway gap. We're waiting for 10:30 though. It's going to keep cutting out, isn't it? All right, so can you explain the CISD in anticipation of speed for the short? Okay, so CISD so the first indication of CISD for me would be this right here. Okay, so this order block, it's not even, doesn't want to lag anymore. All right, this is all recorded, so if I cut out or if I miss something, I'll try and post this as quickly as I can, and then just remember the time that I tried to answer it. So 10:21. So the first thing I was looking at was this CISD up here. So this order block, if we wanted to, create kind of a bullish movement going into 10 o'clock or 9:50, you wanted to see this bullish order block hold, right? Came down into it and closed all the way past the entire candle, right? And we left a gap up here. So that was the first indication for me that we potentially wanted to go short. We filled to fill this breakaway originally, and by the way, we're trading up all the way through. I'll cover this later, but breakaways. So, that was my first indication. Okay, so we didn't respect this order block and we left a gap unfilled. Now the CISD I was talking about for the secondary shorting opportunity would be this one right here. Okay, so we were expecting a retracement at 10 o'clock. We got the retracement up into a gap. But normally when you see a reversal, something like this, see how we got this, we got the sell side liquidity ran out, we tapped into RTH gap equilibrium, and then we create this last down closing candle and we shoot up aggressively. past a gap right here technically. So we're breaking a bearish PD array with the gap. We're closing all the way through it. And then in the process, we leave this down closing candle. So this is the down closing candle I'm watching for CISD. Okay, so if we respect it like this, even though it's the wick, we respect it and start trading back off, that to me is an early stage of reversal. That's like the most earliest stage, obviously besides turtle soup, that you can get of a reversal stage of delivery. So this candle in here, when I saw this same exact, see how it's basically the same exact thing? We have this down closing candle shoot up, down closing candle shoot up. So when I saw this happen, right, and where you sometimes can expect a reversal at 10 a.m., I want to be very, very careful, either pyramiding or just keeping my stop tight. So when I saw this next candle, this 1002 candle, shoot all the way lower past the CISD, right? So this would be the same exact line as you'd be using down here, right? CISD, CISD, okay? Trade all the way through it. That to me was a great sign that we wanted to continue bearish movement. Okay, so that's where I re-entered my second contract. I'll try and send the screenshot when the stream is done so I can properly send it. But that's where I entered my second contract. Now speed is when you want to see efficient delivery. Okay, so over here, why do we get speed over here? Why was this so continuous with no order blocks forming? Because if you look, we have this gap. We have all this price action right next to it that did not leave an unfilled gap, right? We have a filled gap with both buying and selling here, filled gap with both buying and selling here. We have no gaps below this. We do the next gap that's left unfilled is this one right here, right? If I remove this. So this pretty efficiently filled, right? Almost all the way down to this to the discount end. We got both buying and selling, even with multiple different wicks. Okay, so that would classify as pretty efficient. If we remove this, what's the next imbalance? We have this imbalance down here, right? So we quickly get speed all the way past the efficient delivery, quickly get speed all the way into the inefficient delivered gap. Then you see what? Buying and selling. Efficient delivery now, right? Now, what's the next gap past this? You have this gap right here. Now, this gap right here, this is basically just advanced gap theory for you, is a breakaway gap. So breakaway gaps most times do not create a lot of resistance whenever we're trading through it again. So, you normally see a breakaway gap form and you don't get a fill of it. Like we don't see a fill and then trade back up. You don't see a breakaway gap hold most times. So that's why you expect speed through the breakaway gap, just like how you got it here, right? We have this breakaway gap, we see speed all the way through it. That's how you expect the speed into the sell side. Then what do we see? CASD down here, right? This last down closing candle, trade back into it, respecting it, early stage of reversal. Start trading back up, inefficient price delivery in here, right? So we trade through it, then we fill it again with selling, trade back up. Now you can see it in here again, right? We have efficient delivery from this gap, all in here, right? We have no imbalances up until this breakaway. So you just see quick acceleration, right? We have no order blocks forming, just back and forth, quick, closing up, speed all the way through, past the breakaway that doesn't create a lot of resistance. And then now you probably most likely will see a retracement, potentially back up into this range. But I told you, internal range liquidity. We're looking for potentially a market maker sell model now. I hope that made sense and hopefully it didn't lag too much. If it did, you can go back and watch the recording. But that's kind of what goes through my mind. So it goes from inefficient delivery to efficient delivery. So that's when you would expect speed. I'm probably going to do a video on that tomorrow, or maybe I'll record it today, about speed and when to expect it. But that's all the different things that I'm looking at in price. Not simultaneously, but just kind of things that pop up in my brain. So we're approaching time here. So meaning we're approaching 10:30. We got the internal range liquidity sweep. We retraced into parity in the range of premium, right? Pretty deep into premium there. And now we're trading back lower. Now, what do you see here, right? No imbalances we have to fill. Quick speed. This gap, we most likely will see a retracement off. So if I remove this, remove this gap right here. See how it was inefficiently delivered? Right? We have this gap. We have just this wick. Now, I told you before in previous streams, this kind of wick, one wick, is still inefficient. If we have numerous wicks where it's going back and forth in that same range, then that would, you could trim your bisi or trim your fair value gap. You see how like we had this gap here, and we had numerous wicks all the way through. That's efficient delivery. Okay, because on lower time frames, wicks will be candle bodies. So we're expecting a bounce out of this gap, and look what we're doing. Respecting the gap, right? So at 10:30, if preferably if we want to retrace into this short-term premium, that would be a nice shorting opportunity off this gap. These Christmas colors. We'll go back to regular one. Nope. There we go. Cleanest PA in all of December. I agree. Yeah, that's probably the cleanest morning session we got all December. Maybe second cleanest. We got a B classification like first week of December, but that's about it. Yeah, cleanest PA for sure all week. I don't know what the heck the rest of the week was. But see how it becomes much easier if you were here the entire week and you compare this price action to what we saw earlier, even yesterday. This is so much easier to read and so much easier to actually watch how the candles paint and respect what they're supposed to respect. And that's why you want to, participate if you can in these kind of at least I'll participate in these kind of conditions rather than if you look at yesterday's price action. Okay, we can't scroll back. If you look at yesterday's price action and compare it, what are you looking at? What was yesterday? Wednesday? Like this is the morning session. We have 9:30 to run up, and it was like the sloppiest market you've ever seen. I mean, if you were here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's 10:30. You can see the candle buys respecting that premium end of this gap here. Let me actually remove this really quickly. This is efficiently delivered. This is efficiently delivered. All right, so the stream is down, but this gap in here we're filling. I would still prefer to see a premium run, but you can see the fractal market makes some model reversal right after 10:20. Okay, so turn range buy side sweep. We're looking at London low now as the target for sure. At least for me, I think that's for sure the target. It'd be kind of weird if we were to retrace. Sweep out this high again. What I do want to do though is opening range. If you take high to low, this is something the pragmatic shows. I'm gonna move some of this stuff now. If you take this and use your target on your opening range high and low, so between 9:30 and 10:30, the first hour in price, take your fib targets. And most times on bearish days, you're going to be reaching for the negative 1.5. On bullish days, you'll see a reach into the 0.5. Okay, so if this, gap or whatever wants to hold going into the 1050 macro or going into lunch, anything like that, you will see, I want to say 80 to 90% of this time, this, obviously we do have sell side from London, but this kind of low here met as a target. I think the stream just came online, so I'm not even talking, am I? Can I speak? Thank you. Alright, I'm assuming we just lagged there. It's all recorded, but I'll go over it again. Is it streaming now? Who knows? Okay, so if you can hear me, at least, hopefully that's enough. All right, quickly before it lags. So 10:30, if we retrace into premium here, that'd be a nice shorting opportunity because I think we will reach into the sell side. I'm not going to take it personally, but I think this is a nice market maker sell model. Actually, you could put a demo up here. Okay, well, it's not going to work. That being said, hopefully it's still not lagging. Okay. I may have to just close out the stream. This is quite frustrating. I'll type it up in predictions chat really quickly. It's not even sending predictions chat. Did it send? Nope. Yeah, it's still not sending. Nice. I'll just end the stream there. Actually, we can watch how this plays out. I'll just talk to myself. So, stop loss preferably would be above the breakaway here. The fact that we're actually holding this bullish order block is not the best. We do actually have, so the standard deviation target is the negative 1.5 of the opening range. I'll actually do it on the other side too. So this would be your same exact thing. That's your high and low of opening range. So standard deviation of the opening range, most times you'll see displacement through it. So as long as we can close through this bullish order block here, then that would be a nice shorting opportunity. But as long as we hold, as long as we're holding this, like we're holding this tiny one here, I'd be looking for higher prices. That's why I mentioned though, watch how this higher sibi wants to hold. That's a nice actually displacement lower. So this could either be interpreted as efficient delivery. Okay, yeah, I'm like in shorts, but this could be seen as efficient delivery of this gap. or it could be a retracement. So that's why I'm watching how these order blocks are holding. If we can close through this last up closing candle, we should see displacement. I like to see at least past this sell side target. So if you're using the CISD, first target here, second target obviously London low, sell side down here, and then the standard deviation target would be last. Let me send this quickly to predictions chat. So I'll take one partial off at the swing low here. Take two more partials off at the sell side. What is this at? 842. But we're getting nice displacement lower. And last partial off, I'll take it all the way down here at 16,785. Just for fun. 785.75. We'll make sure it's at least a tick above, 2 ticks above. Actually, we'll just do Asian low. So we're looking for this standard deviation target. I'll use the Asian low as liquidity pool instead. So 801. 801 as the last partial right down here. What's this? Yeah. That should work. But you can see the order block is holding, inversion order block. So there's no inefficient delivery here besides this gap that you still could see a retracement off of. I'm going to remove this. We already know we dug into premium. So watch for, this I would say is efficient, but you could see a bounce out of the rest of this gap. That's why I'm taking a partial off. Let me type that up in predictions. What minute is this? 10:13 bisi. Still seeing a bounce out of this gap. A little bit more than I wanted to. But we did close below, remove this, did close below this up closing candle right here. So I'd assume this would want to hold as CISD if you want to move lower. You can kind of see the fractal market maker sell model in here too, right? Hopefully. Each retracement leg offers a market maker model in some lower time frame. So if you see a 15-minute retracement, most times that gives you a 5-minute to 1-minute market maker sell model. You can see here we're retracing on the 5-minute maybe. 5-minute retracement into premium as a 1-minute market maker sell model. This kind of retracement up here into premium also creates a market maker sell model. So you can use all of that in tandem and kind of form fractal market maker sell models. But that's why I'd still be targeting this low, at least this original consolidation, right? So if you look at this original consolidation to here on lower time frames, we drop to maybe 15 seconds, something like that. CISD is still holding though, so you could look for, if that still wants to hold. I have my stop right above this high. So if you're using that as a stop, I would assume you don't want to take out, anything higher than that bearish order block here. But the fact that we're still kind of chopping around and holding this gap over here is kind of annoying. But yeah, targets are still the same targets. So sell side down here, and then I have last partial at the Asian low instead of the standard deviation target. Obviously, if we do break this stop loss, climb above the breakaway gap, you could be looking at AM high, which there's some SMT up here. And then you could be looking for standard deviation target up there. But for now, price action is bearish. You got internal range liquidity sweep into further premium targets. And we're holding that CISD pretty well. I'm actually going to drop to a 15-second chart on the other screen really quick. Just want to see how this is reacting. Like, you could see this as an intermediate term high on lower time frames. So that's what I'm monitoring. The fact we didn't get speed here is kind of annoying. We're approaching the end of... Oh, okay, well. Let's say we're approaching the end of this short-term macro here. We're still kind of stuck around. I don't know what we're respecting. This gap in here, I guess. So whenever you see a gap being respected multiple different times, you still want to have it outlined. If I would switch this to gray, but it's not even holding. Alright, just watch how this plays out. I don't know if it will, but just hold it.
It's mid battle. Pickaxe. Get on your machine. Get onto your machine. Stop. They're planning to attack now. Like 5 seconds. Get it out. Gotta get on. Gotta get on. Planning to attack his power-up agent. Get ready to use the hypnosis.
to pee.
Should be some in the bonus room. Or not the bonus room, in the basement.
Where would it be? Storage?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll show.
Would that be where if she was like Christmas card?
I don't know.
I'll get some. Oh, but that's cool.